health insurance, and it's actually going to benefit all Kenyans, irrespective of economic status. So that's one of the top stories that we're going to be looking at. We'll also be looking at the Kericho stampede. Of course, this has, come about at a time when the deaths of 4 people and injuries have actually, been something that has been investigated. That is early this morning, that's Friday. We'll be looking at that as well. Plus, President William Ruto's speech as well from Kericho County. So we'll be giving you details of that right here on Easy Friday. Our sign language interpreter tonight is Byron Abuli. My name is Shiksha Arora, and now it's time for us to take a look at the highlights.
Kila Mkenya atapatiwa matibabu bila malipo yoyote.
Medicare for all. President Ruto launches universal health coverage and leads Kenyans in celebrating the country's heroes. The strength of a woman. Tonight we trace the remarkable journey of the late Muthoni Kirima to becoming Kenya's only female field marshal. And for better, for worse, see how the Samburu are keeping an old wedding tradition alive. Welcome to Easy Friday and top of the hour right here on tonight's live broadcast. Our top story, President William Ruto has warned against theft of public resources set aside for achieving universal health coverage. The president, who led thousands of Kenyans in marking Mashujaa Day celebrations in Kericho County, announced that the country will transition from National Health Insurance Fund to Social Health Insurance, which will benefit all Kenyans, irrespective of economic status. Giverson Minor now reports.
President William Ruto on Friday led Kenyans in celebrating Mashujaa Day at the Kericho Green Stadium in Kericho County.
Pale katika level 1, 2 and 3 dispensary na health center, kila Mkenya atapatiwa matibabu bila malipo yoyote.
The president's speech dwelled largely on universal health coverage, which was the theme of the celebration.
Tumekuwa tukitafuta mbinu, jinsi na namna ya kuhakikisha ya kwamba afya inamfikia kila Mkenya na afya isiwafikie wale wako na uwezo peke yao, lakini ifikie kila Mkenya, kwa sababu maisha ya kila Mkenya ni ya muhimu.
During the occasion, Health Cabinet Secretary Susanna Kumicha led community health promoters in committing to champion implementation of UHC.
Representing the Northern.
Thereafter, President flagged off medicine trucks to counties. He noted that 100,000 community health promoters have been enlisted and relevant laws enacted to facilitate remuneration.
Hawa community health promoters wamefanya kazi ya muhimu. Sasa tutawapatia vifaa. Jambo la pili, tutahakikisha ya kwamba watapata malipo kwa kazi mzuri wanayofanya kwa afya katika taifa letu la Kenya.
The head of state also announced the transition of the National Health Insurance Fund to Social Health Insurance that he said is aimed at achieving inclusivity.
Kila mwananchi atalipa kulingana na mapato yake. Na yule mwananchi ambaye hana uwezo, serikali ya Kenya itakulipia card ya hospitali.
He, however, warned the corrupt individuals intending to siphon public funds, saying their days are numbered.
Wale wote wanahusika na kuiba pesa ya Wakenya na mambo ya ufisadi na mambo ya ukora, mambo yao ni matatu.
It's now another attempt by the government to make universal health care achievable as the country departs from the traditional National Health Insurance Fund to Social Health Insurance. President William Ruto saying the Kenya Kwanza administration is keen to make it a success. Give us in minor every Friday from Kericho Green Stadium in Kericho County.
Now, the Ministry of Interior is investigating the circumstances that led to the stampede that caused the death of 4 people and injured several others outside the Kericho Green Stadium early Friday. The incident occurred at around 3 a.m. at Gate C, just as authorities were preparing to open the doors to the venue of the 60th Mashujaa Day celebrations. Take a look.
Kericho County is celebrating and mourning at the same time. Residents who are eager to be part of the Mashujaa Day celebrations had woken up early enough to secure themselves spaces at Kericho Green Stadium, venue of the national celebrations. Small-scale traders milled around the venue to cash in on the county's hosting of the celebrations. However, a stampede ensued outside the stadium near its Gate C that left 4 people dead and 10 others injured. Police officers on duty at the stadium say a lady hawking tea accidentally spilled some of it on the fire. This caused panic among members of the public who thought it was a tear gas canister hurled at them, causing them to scamper to safety. In the melee, several of them were injured, including security officers. They were rushed to Kericho County Referral Hospital, where 4 females were confirmed dead. The bodies of the dead are now lying at the hospital's morgue awaiting identification and post-mortem as the injured continue to receive treatment at the hospital. Tilio Marco for Easy Friday.
Now, President William Ruto's Mashujaa Day speech received the backing of both leaders and members of the public who hailed the national rollout of the Universal Health Coverage Scheme. Majority lauded the recognition of community health promoters, terming it a game changer in the health sector. Prior to the national launch on Friday, universal health care was piloted in Kisumu, Nyeri, Machakos and Isiolo counties.
Very happy that this Kericho Green Stadium from today now takes on a new name, Wilson Kiprugut Arap Chumo, as the new name of this stadium. We must build our country. We must set up systems based on our own resources. We can still look for expensive money from China, Japan. These countries have not become great because they were borrowing from Kenya. But Kenya is not going to be great because it is borrowing from Japan. So we can't complain about paying taxes. We must pay taxes.
And launching of this particular universal health care is going to change everything in this country. So this was one of the best celebrations we've ever seen. I am very glad I was here and I look forward to even better and better Kenya.
Nataka nishukuru sana kwa kubadilisha jina ya hapa ikuwe Kiprugut Chuma, ambaye ni shujaa ambaye amewahi shinda medali kwa mara ya kwanza katika riadha, na nafikiri hiyo ni mambo mazuri katika sports yetu ya taifa letu la Kenya.
It was said that a guest should be seated by 9 and the function was going to start at 10, I think 10:30. But since the president came before 10, and we have been able to finish at 12 on the dot, which I think is also a very, very good thing. And I think it's also, you know, I'm a Muslim. It's also very good for the Muslim brothers who may want to go to the mosque on Friday.
Amesema he is leading every Kenyan. Every Kenyan is a beneficiary. Every Kenyan is a taxpayer. And I congratulate His Excellency. It's commendable and it is good.
I want to appreciate so much the universal good health because it will support especially people living with disabilities, people who are hearing impaired.
Nilipata mwaliko kutoka kwa Mheshimiwa Rais kwa kuwa mimi ndio shujaa kutoka katika kaunti ya Lamu, haswa katika upande wa kujenga usalama.
Mimi hapa nafurahia maana mimi ni Pokot wa kwanza kijana, labda na wengine si watano, kushiriki na kukuwa mashujaa. Lakini bado wenzangu wale mashule zilifungwa kwa sababu ya usalama. Ningeomba rais na pia serikali yake yote iweze kuzingatia mambo yale ili wale pia waweze kuwa mashujaa siku zijazo.
Now, thousands of Kenyans braved the chilly morning weather to attend the historic Mashujaa Day national celebrations in Kericho County. The momentous celebrations were held at the Kericho Green Stadium with a military parade, traditional dances, songs and recitals that colored the day.
Early Friday morning. And these were the sights and sounds at the Kericho Green Stadium in Kericho County. Kenyans from all walks of life, in their numbers, were already seated and ready for the Mashujaa Day festivities. The 10,000-seater Kericho Green Stadium filling up fast. The stands, a colorful mix with school children stealing the show with a patriotic display of umbrellas. Being an occasion that saw the launch of the Universal Health Coverage Program, community health care promoters were well represented.
Wapi makofi ya rais?
The traditional disciplined forces march. And because the weather obeyed, the fly passed by Kenya Air Force to celebrate heroes.
Happy Mashujaa Day.
School children once again wowed the spectators with creative formations. The map of Kenya, the word Mashujaa, and slogan Afya Bora to capture the theme of the day.
Now, the staging of the national celebrations of Mashujaa Day in Eldoret, there was not much business in Nairobi city centre. Businesses that had thrived when the capital city traditionally hosted the national celebrations today reported low sales despite high operational costs.
The famous Luna Park in Nairobi city centre was on this national holiday a largely quiet zone, unlike before when such events were predominantly held in Nairobi. It would have harvested hordes of revelers from Nyayo National Stadium, the event's common venue, and city dwellers out to enjoy the holiday. The holding of the national celebrations in Kericho, coupled with the fact that it fell on a Friday, hence several Nairobi residents travelled up country for the long weekend, did not argue well with traders here.
Tunafanya kazi vizuri sana. Unaweza pata, ungepata pesa yenye ungetarajia kila mtu. Yaani ulikuwa unaona tu uko na pesa ya kutosha, inaweza lipa fee, inaweza lipa rent na unakaa. Lakini sasa saa hii venye nimefungua nimekaa hapa muda mrefu sana. Hakuna customer wanakuja, si vile kulikuwa na public holiday, kulikuwa na kazi.
Consolata Kobia, a long-time sausage vendor at Luna Park, says times are getting tougher for her and fellow traders here.
Kazi nilianza tukiuza mayai 20 bob. Sasa you can imagine ukiuza 20 bob na tray 10 hivi, ulikuwa unatengeneza like faida ya 5k kwenda juu.
A few meters away, Kevin Bahati's hope of a holiday boom for his bouncing castle are warning.
Stima, inatumia stima, na sasa mwenye stima atakuja anataka pesa yake, na hiyo pesa hata sijatengeneza. So unaona, na watu pia kuna vijana wangu wa kazi hawajapata kitu.
From operators of swings to donkey riders, photographers and toy car operators, the traders are lamenting over the toll of tough economic times on their business.
Mzazi ukimwambia ni 200 anasema akona so, ukimwambia ni so anasema akona 50, so nakuta kila kitu ana budgetia. Ni venye the economic times sahi ni very harsh.
It is a pinch also felt by the few revelers who came out as they could no longer afford the luxury of letting their young ones enjoy all the games.
Mungu kwa kunibariki na familia, hao ndio mashujaa wangu, na ndio maana nimemleta huyu aje akafurahie, maana yeye ndio niko naye, ndio kijana wangu wa pekee.
Hata siwezi afford zote. Acha tukuwe na hope to hope with the time vitu zita change.
Though the turnout is low compared to previous year at Luna Park, Consolata Kobia, just like the rest of business people here, believe they will not go back home empty-handed. For Easy Friday, I'm Zainab Said.
Now, coastal leaders have reverberated the need for the region's leadership to unite in the quest to halt the government's plans to lease out sections of Mombasa and Lamu ports. Speaking at the Mamangina waterfront during the Mashujaa Day Fete, Mombasa Governor Abdul Swamad Sharif Nasir led the local leadership in criticizing leaders from the region who are causing divisions in the development agenda. Junay Karisa has more details.
The scenic Mama Ngina waterfront was the venue for the Mashujaa Fete in Mombasa that was graced by County Commissioner Abdirasak Jaldesa and Governor Abdulswamad Sharif Nasir. The county boss announced that in the next Mashujaa Day, heroes of outstanding service to humanity in the county will be recognized.
Tunataka kujua manasu wetu, kama ni madaktari, community health workers wetu, wale watu wetu ambao ni mapolisi, inspectorate, wale ambao kwamba ni firefighters, wale ambao kwamba wenye kufanya kazi katika jamii. We want to ensure ya kwa tuweze kuwapatia taji litakaloweza kuwafaa.
The locals were also cautioned on the impending El Nino rains that have begun across the coastal town.
Wale ambao wanajenga kiholela holela, lala ndani, uhakikishe umekaa pale ndani, usikae watarishe maisha ya watu.
On politics, the governor said coastal leaders were united in implementing the regional's development agenda while safeguarding their interests in the ports of Mombasa and Lamu.
We are not emotionally dead, we are not blind, and we are not deaf. Don't plan for us without us.
Na kuomba ndugu yangu Mohamediani, ulisema utasimama na sisi. Tumeona barua jana, sasa ni wakati na wewe sasa usimame na sisi, mwambie rais, this is wrong, we have to do it this way.
Hivi sasa iko chini ya mikono ya serikali kuandikwa kazi mbalaa. Haya mwanangu, ukichukuliwa na mtu binafsi utaandikwa na nani wewe? Sisi kama viongozi wa pwani ipo haja ya kuwa pamoja.
Juni Karisambele from Mombasa County.
And still on Mashujaa Day celebrations, as Kenyans gather to mark the Mashujaa Day at the Kericho Chumo Stadium in Kericho, calls for unity, better service delivery and adequate security reverberated across different stadiums in the country. Here is Doreen Arange with a feel of how the day was marked in the counties. Take a look.
Parallel celebrations were organized in the counties to mark this year's Mashujaa Day. In Nyeri, the county commissioner used the occasion to call for the protection of genuine freedom fighters.
Kama iko msaada yoyote ambayo itakuja ama mpangilio ya program yoyote ambayo itakuja kwa Maumau, haitapitia mlango ya kando, itapitia kwa serikali national, itapitia through viongozi wenu.
In Nandi County, Member of Parliament Emurua Yohana Ngeno called on the national government to prioritize the compensation of families whose loved ones paid the ultimate price in the pursuit of Kenya's freedom.
So many people were killed. It was not only Samoei alone. He was killed with his battalion, with his team. But there was no compensation.
Meanwhile, in Meru, the County Commissioner Fred Ndunga, while addressing residents at Kinoru Stadium, urged those living in lower grounds to move to higher grounds ahead of the El Nino rains.
Unaishi mahali pa mlima ama palipo na mteremko, kaa chonjo. Kunaweza kuwa na kile kitu tunaita kwa Kiingereza landslide. Ukiona unakaa mahali palipo na hatari ya kuteremshwa, tafadhali hama.
In Mandera, Governor Mohamed Halif cautioned individuals obstructing government projects, saying those found vandalizing government installations will be dealt with in accordance with the law.
Mejitoa kwa haribu infrastructures ambayo imejengwa na county government the last 10 years. Kuna watu wanaiba solar poles, kuna watu wanaiba dawa ya hospitali na chakula ya watoto. We want to deal with those people family.
In Kakamega, Governor Fernandes Baraza oversaw the distribution of a health toolkit and uniforms to over 4,000 community health promoters to strengthen service delivery at the grassroots level.
And as a government of Kakamega County and the national government, we are going to ensure that the welfare of our CHPs has been given priority.
Finally, Busia Governor Dr. Paul Otoma affirmed his commitment to partner with the national government to implement key projects in the county.
The county government of Busia, Sheria inasema the two governments must work together.
The leaders called for patience as the government works to ensure effective service delivery in the region. Doreen Arange for Easy Friday.
And with that, it's time for us to take our first commercial break, but we will be back very soon. Don't go too far. This is Easy Friday.
All holders are notified to report and surrender unclaimed financial assets to the Unclaimed Financial Assets Authority, UFAA, on or before November 1st, 2023. It is now easier to report and surrender. Visit www.ufaa.go.ke and get started. Beat the November 1st deadline. It is your turn to surrender and report qualifying unclaimed financial assets. Pass the baton. Unclaimed Financial Assets Authority. Receive, safeguard, reunite.
Mchezaji wa Loto Moto.
Mungu abariki sana.
Ni wengi wanakushukuru bila hata wewe kufahamu.
Niliona Mungu wa ajabu ameshuka.
Ni wengi wanaokuaminia.
Imejaa, imebaki, yani I'm just happy.
Ni wengi wanaokuombea ushindi.
Hawa ndio niachiwe na mama yao wakati aligojeka kwa muda.
Ni wengi unaowagusa kwa kuwapa afueni na imani ya maisha.
Asante na Mungu akubariki pia.
Ni wengi unawatembelea.
Through hii program ndo tunajua vitu zingine.
Na imani yako inawapa amani.
Akaaga juu ya kansa.
Ushindi wako ni wa wengi.
Roma niendanga, Roma.
Asante mchezaji wa Loto Moto.
What's in your kitchen? A show that celebrates Kenyan and African dishes. Rusa. At Pinelani Annex Naivasha, she shared a bit of her life background story and her cooking skill. Be careful. Yes, because I've seen some fire jump there.
That is called flambeing.
Flambeing. So tukiona moto tujue ni flambeing. Chele yetu iko sawa? Iko sawa? Tumalize.
Sasa ni kwenda tukule. Lakini hauendi.
Mimi siendi.
Hauendi.
Hiyo tutaongea kwa meza kwanza.
Sawa.
Salivate this delicious meal on your screen while taking notes for the recipe. Every Sunday, only on KBC.
Welcome back. Now, as we celebrate Mashujaa Day today, but what exactly is Mashujaa Day and what is the history behind it? 71 years from the day that gave birth to Kenyatta Day, later renamed Mashujaa Day, Kenyans continue to observe this annual ritual. The national day, that is holiday, epitomizes the turn of events during the struggle for independence. But do Kenyans know exactly what this day symbolizes, especially considering the change of names? Well, we'll find out shortly. Take a look.
We carried out a spot check to establish whether Kenyans understand the meaning of Mashujaa Day and why the day is celebrated.
Tunasherekea wale waliofaitia Kenya. Wale kina Kenyatta, walikuwa wengi, walikuwa karibu kapenguria 6 nadhani, si ndio?
Mashujaa ni kukumbuka wale wasenye walibedi. Juu pia muziki yenye mimi napiga naongea about hawa kina Dedan Kimathi, Kenyatta. Hao ni wasenye walifaitia country.
Si ni kuselebrate wale wazee walipigania uhuru. Mimi naweza elewa sababu historia nilipata. Sasa kuna generation hata ukimwambia Kenyatta anakuuliza Kenyatta alikuwa wa country gani?
The foundation of it was known previously as Kenyatta Day. And under the new constitution in 2010, they changed it to Mashujaa Day.
Tunasherehekea Mashujaa tukikumbuka waliopigania uhuru wa nchi yetu.
Na nakumbuka vizuri sana Jaramogi Oginga Odinga wakipambana na wazungu uondoke katika nchi hii tupate nafasi ya kujitawala sisi wenyewe.
Ni siku muhimu sana kwa taifa letu la Kenya, kwa sababu tunakumbuka wazee wetu ambao tunajiita sujaa. Sujaa ni wale ambao walituletea uhuru.
Oscar Omondi, a political analyst and a historian, narrates how Mashujaa Day came to be.
And there was one death along the Movie Road, the death of Chief Waruhio. And when Waruhio is killed now, and the state of emergency is declared, So the crackdown started on the 20th when it was declared, a state of emergency was declared on the 20th. Kapenguria 6 are arrested, who was the leaders of KAU, and taken to Kapenguria. After being found guilty as charged, they are jailed for 7 years. The first time heroes who are now people celebrating the heroes is when they get released, 1958.
He, however, laments that a majority of Kenyans consider public holidays as a chance to rest, caring less about what such important days are meant to commemorate.
The type of education that we have here also has not been able to put a lot of focus on history, to tell our people, tell our young people why. People don't know about some of these things. Yeah, so we should really focus on making sure that people know the history, people know what to do.
Well, let's delve into the Mashujaa Day background story. This is a national holiday which celebrates and honors Kenyans who fought and struggled for Kenya's independence. The day not only recognizes the Kenyans who struggled for the independence, it also recognizes Kenyans who have contributed immensely to the country's development in different sectors and spheres. Previously, the day was also known as Kenyatta Day. The day was then celebrated in honor of Kenya's founding President Jomo Kenyatta and 5 other freedom fighters. They were known as the Kapenguria 6.
I'm telling you what I believe and what my government believes. That white, brown, black can work together harmoniously in this country and make this country great.
You may ask, who are these Kapenguria 6? Well, the group contributed over Jomo Kenyatta, Bildad Kagia, Kungu Karumba, Fred Kubai, Paul Ngei, and Achieng Oneko, whom are all deceased. Kenyatta Day marked the day when the Kapenguria 6 were arrested on October 20th, 1952. That is 71 years since then to date, at the height of the clamor for independence. When the current constitution was promulgated on August 24th, 2010, the Kenyatta Day changed to Mashujaa Day. Well, that's it for the background story. Happy Mashujaa Day from KBC Channel 1. My name is Teresa Mutai.
Quite an informative piece there by Teresa Mutai. Quite a lot to learn. I hope you learned something about Mashujaa Day. And moving on, as Kenya celebrates the Mashujaa Day 2023, the role of women in the struggle for independence cannot be overemphasized. A month to this day, the country mourns the death of a gallant freedom fighter and the only woman to ever qualify for the title Field Marshal. This is the story of the late Field Marshal Muthoni Kirima, as filed by Ben Troy Njue. Take a look.
Field Marshal Muthoni Kirima, who worked closely with Field Marshal Dedan Kimathi, died last month, aged 92 years, and was buried on the 21st of September in her home in Tetu, Nyeri County. Muthoni was one of the few women who led the struggle in the Mount Kenya region. In eulogizing the late heroine, President William Ruto, in his speech read by his deputy Rigathi Gachagua, recognized the efforts of women in the fight for Kenya's independence.
Even as we mourn, it is also a moment to celebrate our accomplishments. Field Marshal Muthoni was exceptional. She was a woman of valor and vigor, embodied in patriotism, loyalty, and discipline. This enabled her to accomplish major victories during the fight to liberate Kenya from the colonial yoke. Her steadfastness, resilience, and commitment to the cause of freedom, we are proud of Field Marshal Muthoni in the struggle for a free, fair, and just society.
Professor Munene Masharia, a historian, says though many of the fighters are already dead, the few remaining should be recognized.
We know there are frictions within the movement, but that should not stop the effort to give them their due respect. It is difficult to say you're going to pay them money, because there may not be enough money. But some sort of token recognition would be good, because they live in very poor conditions.
Former Mau Mau fighters and Muthoni's family members who interacted with her remembered her as brave, fearless, and selfless.
She was a pivotal figure in the struggle of Kenya's independence. She was a leader of revolution and a symbol of hope, championing through the Mau Mau movement.
A great warrior, one of the most revered Mau Mau Shujaas and freedom fighters. She is and remains in our rich historical liberation struggle of success.
Professor Macharia is quick to note that despite 60 years of independence, women have not had their fair share of independence in sharing the national cake, citing the elusive two-thirds gender rule.
The notion of the two-thirds gender rule is a good one, as a goal, a national goal, that every part of the country should be able to attain that level. It's an attitude thing, such that women are there by right, not by concession. And we've seen the ones who get there, they are really forced, and they deliver. So we need to pump a little more resources into the education system, because that's why you change attitude for the positive.
Muthoni Kerima was born in 1931 in a settler's farm in Tetu, Kericho County, and was recruited as a pyrethrum picker in 1941. She would later on, in 1949, get married to General Mutungi. In 1952, when the country was in state of emergency, Muthoni joined freedom fighters in the Aberdare forest, and in 1954 witnessed the commissioning of Dedan Kimathi as a field marshal. She rose to the same rank in 1955. As a fighter, Field Marshal Muthoni disguised herself as a farmer in order to seek crucial information about the colonial masters, which she would later relay to the fighters in the forest, where she lived for 11 years. She left the forest when Kenya gained her independence in 1963.
This is one of the happiest days of my life.
On the 12th of December, 1963.
Muthoni only shaved her trademark dreadlocks in 2002 after 70 years. In independent Kenya, she served as a councillor during the Moi regime. Muthoni will remain vocal about the country's governance even after independence. A call for her recognition led to her receiving awards to recognize her feat, including the renaming of the Nyeri main bus terminal in her name and the Heroines Award by the National Heroes Council in 2023. Muthoni Kerima has left a rich legacy, and her contribution to the struggle for independence will be remembered for centuries to come. As Muthoni Kerima exits the stage, many of the fighters who fought alongside her still feel more needs to be done to recognize their efforts. Bentro Njue, Easy Friday.
Tuache kudanganyana hapa, mali safi, mali mbichi, kijani kibichi. Tuko Lucky Game, tunashibishana. Dial star 570 hash, chagua sanduku ya Lucky Game, utapata sanduku 7 zinakungoja mahali pale. Chagua yako, mali kibao. Tuko na viti, tuko na vifriji hapa, tuko na TV, tuko na microwave, na pia tuko na chapa. All happening for star 570 hash. Jishibishe.
Everyone is saying that your wife has a lover.
Alejandra gave me another chance, and I'm not going to ignore it like you did.
Our other option would be to bring in a shell company to pay the consequences in case we encounter a problem.
This hurts me a lot to see that you're not the person I thought you were.
Tell me,
what's the matter?
Who is your lover? Tell me right now.
The bad men aren't going to find us. Don't worry, okay?
Welcome back to Easy Friday. Now, for thousands of years, the Samburu wedding tradition has stood the test of time. The wedding, which is symbolized by the slaughtering of a cow and handing it over to the sheep of the bride's family, continues to be practiced and passed through generations. To the Samburu people, divorce is a taboo. Sarafina Robi attended a Samburu wedding and filed her experience for this week's episode of My Culture.
At the break of dawn, on the hills of the magical Samburu land, the air is fresh and crisp as a tradition celebrated for years ensues. Women converse and laugh in low tones as fires are lit outside the manyatas. The bride is in her parents' manyata, being prepared for her wedding day. A few minutes later, a bridegroom's delegation approaches in style with a ceremonial cow in hand and a sheep in tow. The bride's mother is given the sheep. The groom's shoes are taken off.
People will stay without shoes for the days this lady will be around here until they will start their move trying to get out of this home.
The cow brute is then tied up and suffocated to death as part of the wedding rituals. It is then stabbed at the top of the head and a layer of leaves placed on the wound to stop the bleeding. Then the skinning begins until warm blood is spotted.
Suji na mimi naonanga watu wengine na wakanga suji na hii inaitwa nini? Pete kwa kanisa. Hii ndio pete ya Samburu. Watu kwa tunaweka pete, hii ndio pete ya Samburu.
It is scooped and preserved. It is also shared among visitors present. This is a wedding ritual.
Lazima wandume na iwe kala nzuri, si ati tu madawa hapana. Iwe ni kala moja iwe smart kabisa. Hata kondoo ni hivyo. Iwe ambao haina ile madawa huko.
Hii nyama yote ikitolewa, mifupa itaekwa kwa sufuria, waboil watoe hiyo supu, wachanganya na hiyo damu yenye iko kwa kibuyu na maziwa, alafu wazee watakunywa kesho asubuhi.
Kama jaua kabla hajachinja hiyo rukweret, hata kama mama amezaa watoto 15 na hujaua hiyo rukweret, hiyo watoto sio yako. Kama wewe unakufa, menyeko na rukweret anakuja kuchinja, anachukua hiyo watoto.
I urge other Kenyans not to marry a Samburu woman who has ever been married, because the kids will never be yours. You'll be at a loss. You'll feed those kids and the customary rights will halt. We have been handling several cases in our law courts here in Samburu where I've seen a man with about 12 kids and the children are taken back to the original father.
Then some specific parts of the slaughtered cow are handed over to the bride's family.
Hii inaitaka kifua algo, sema algo ndio tunapeleka kwanza. Hii inaitwa mrte, sema mrte ya pili. Hii inaitwa nempito ya tatu. Hii inaitwa almarai ya 4. Mambo ameisha.
For this meat, it's attributed with some kind of a curse that should this woman goes to be married by another man, she will not prosper.
The bride, who is visually challenged, is excited about the celebration. The county government of Samburu sponsors such an event annually to help a couple.
Maridadi, alafu nangara, alafu manapigwa picha.
The ritual continues until the point the newlywed leaves for her husband's home.
So in Samburu, we don't have divorce. We don't divorce. Our certificate it holds permanently. So despite the fact that you have killed the bull, that woman remains yours. Even if you separate, she will continue mentioning your name as the father and the kids. Whoever is going to get kids, the kids will remain for the original father who slaughtered the bull.
The Samburu wedding, just as the Samburu culture, is unique in very many facets. From the slaughtering of the cow, the handing over of the sheep, the song and dance, and so many other things. And now the local Samburus hope that this will be passed down to generations for years to come. Serafina Robi for KBC Channel 1 from Maralal, Samburu County.
My absolute favorite feature, that is My Culture, always teaching us so much about the rich culture that we have here in Kenya. Now moving on, calls for clean air and energy conservation have pushed key stakeholders in the energy sector to adopt eco-conscious methods. The Kenya Pipeline Company is shifting from conventional top loading to the more environmentally sustainable bottom loading method for truck tankers. Trevor Ngendo visited their loading facility in Eldoret and filed the following report.
There are two loading types for truck tankers. The first is top loading and the other is bottom loading. Top loading is the traditional type whereby a hose is connected to an opening at the top of the truck trailer. Bottom loading passes fuel products into the tank through valves and fittings underneath the truck trailer. As the sole distributor of oil and gas, the Kenya Pipeline Company Managing Director now says the company is in accelerated efforts to further enhance its investments in the bottom loading technique, which minimizes the risk of spills in a bid to prioritize safety and environmental sustainability.
Bottom loading is a modern way of serving our customers. It's safe. It's what the world is now adopting in terms of environmental friendly. And therefore, we are moving towards bottom loading in our facilities today. The facility you see in Nairobi, it's at about 60% completion. We expect that facility to be ready by March, April of 2024.
On average, a truck which carries 40 meter cubes of product can be loaded within 30 minutes, unlike in the normal facility which takes 45 to 1 hour.
The innovative approach currently in their loading depots in Nakuru, Eldoret and Kisumu, they say, has seen the company reduce its carbon footprint and also cut on turnaround times for tanker trucks by up to 20 minutes.
It's little emission of fumes compared to the traditional normal loading facility where we load the truck from the top arch. They also have reduced spillage because the truck is loaded from the bottom.
Trevor Ngendo for Easy Friday.
Now, the government has commenced expansion works on canals and desiltation of rivers in the expansive Ahero, West and East Kano irrigation schemes to avert destruction of paddy rice during the expected El Niño rains. The schemes that sit on an estimated 16,000 acres of land and is expected to produce close to 39,000 metric tons of rice, up from 32,000 metric tons realized last season. Achola Simon now has the details.
It is race against time here in West Kano as the government moves to avert flooding and at the same time drive up production of rice ahead of the expected heavy rainfall.
We have about 16,000 acres that we have put under rice. So if we can be able to double that area, it will be 32,000 acres that will be under rice production. And that one will be able to push our production to 80,000 metric ton.
Oma revealed that the government has already deployed at least one excavator to expand the canals and one more is on the way.
And this area, unless we put up mitigation measure, in case it rains, it may really, farmers may lose their crop.
All our mainstream rivers should be desilted, and again, the outlet pump procurement is inevitable. Let it be done in the next 1 month. We want a new pump there with a capacity which can be able to offload the water from the scheme.
The Meteorological Department has already issued an alert over the expected El Niño rainfalls and mapped Kano Plains as a flood-prone area. Farmers want the ongoing preparations to address the challenges posed by birds on the scheme.
We are able to produce almost 48 metric thousand. But half of this is consumed by the birds. So the farmers go back empty-handed And it beats the logic where somebody is going back into rice production.
The farmers say a substantial amount of their produce was lost last year due to birds. Achola Simon, Easy Friday, Kisumu County.
Now, a family in Kariara B village of Ithanga ward in Gatanga constituency in Murang'a County is demanding justice for the murder of their father 6 years ago. In a rather bizarre arrangement, the alleged murderers compensated the family after the burial with 300,000 Kenya shillings, an equivalent of 25 heads of cattle. The family, however, says they had been promised more in atonement for their killed kin, but this has not been realized several years later.
This family of the late Francis Waweru Gathiri is seeking justice over his murder 6 years later. Gathiri was a watchman at Muti Secondary School in Idanga Ward, Gatanga constituency, Murang'a County, when thugs raided the school on the dawn of 15th May 2017 and assaulted him. He died of the injuries 2 days later. In a rather unusual occurrence, the alleged murderers visited the poor family after the burial and made an arrangement for their evil deed.
Kifo cha aina hiyo hakinge alipika na ng'ombe kwa maana walikuja kudanganya mamangu wakampea 25 cows, na mimi sikuona hiyo kitu ikiwa ya maana, kwa maana kulingana na vile walimuua hata hizo ng'ombe hazikuwa zinafaa walete.
The family says that in the deal that was witnessed by the area chief then, they were to receive more compensation thereafter, but this was not materialized.
Wenye walimuua walikuwa watatu. After that, mama alipigiwa simu wakamchukua wakaenda hospital medical, akawekwa cashot siku 3 na siku ya 4 akapelekwa ICU. Kutoka hiyo siku ya 4 venye aliwekwa ICU tukapigiwa simu tukaambiwa tena amefariki.
They say that with no source of income, their brother Joseph Wainaina, out of desperation, sold some 2.5 acres of land for a mere motorbike and 10,000 Kenyan shillings cash. They want the sale reversed.
Huyo mmoja alinidanganya nikamuuzia shamba na siku hata na ID, tukaenda kwa chief tukaandikania na yeye. Chief akapewa 10,000, akaandika agreement, nikamuuzia akanipatia 10,000. Alafu pikipiki akahesabu kama pesa ngiri 80. Sasa hizo zingine zimebaki 55. Akasema atanipatia makaratasi ya title ikitoka.
Meanwhile, chaos erupted at the Garissa County Assembly again as leadership wrangles continue. Speaker Abdi Idle was interrupted as he presided over the House Business Committee by a section of MCAs who accused him of taking sides. The ensuing chaos left the chamber partially vandalized. Details of this and more in our county news roundup.
Speaking to the press at his office after the disarray, the county assembly speaker denied claims that he is sowing divisions among members.
I had called in the police, I had called in the DCI, I had called in the police, the OCS. They were here with us this morning. They have taken a tour to the scene of crime. They have done their work.
Meanwhile, the government says it is working round the clock to effectively fight radicalization and violent extremism. And the government has been challenged to invest in technologies that protect sensitive information and critical systems from cyber threats.
Yes, as Safaricom, we've tried and we continue to try. We have continued to invest quite heavily in cybersecurity systems.
Elsewhere, the judiciary, through the Office of the Registrar Magistrate Courts, has rolled out 5 more small claims courts, bringing to 10 the number of small claims courts launched at border towns. The Registrar Magistrate Court, Caroline Kabucho, said that the focus on border towns is occasioned by the rise in the number of commercial disputes being recorded due to increased trade in the areas. Finally, Trans Nzoia County Governor George Natembeya has urged the national government to find new markets for local produce.
Ni wakati wakulima wameshavuna, bila wamevuna hivi, unakuwa na challenge ya marketing kidogo. Kwa hivyo kule mwanzo tunapanga vizuri, wakulima wanapewa mbolea, subsidized, tunapatia mbegu, lakini wakati wamevuna sasa inaanza kuwa challenge.
Natembeya said local farmers have the capacity to produce more agricultural products distinct from the global market. Purity Musyoka for Easy Friday.
Holders are notified to report and surrender unclaimed financial assets to the Unclaimed Financial Assets Authority, UFAA, on or before November 1st, 2023.
I started going for lunch at home, and the lunch break was only 1 hour. So meaning if I do 2 miles to school and 2 miles to go back for hot lunch and 2 miles to go back to school and 2 miles to get back at home, now you can tell the average.
The kind of, yes, the distance that
yes.
you're doing. Yeah.
So that tells you I developed some mileage without knowing. And I didn't mind.
Yeah.
Even the nickname, I was being called Kericho Catherine.
Pass the baton. Unclaimed Financial Assets Authority. Receive, safeguard, reunite.
The inaugural African Football League, showcasing the best of African club football, kicks off on October 20th. Catch the matches live on KBC Channel 1 as Africa's best footballing talents compete in the inaugural league between 20th of October to 11th of November. Live and exclusive on KBC Channel 1, your true sports partner.
Glad that you're still tuned. Welcome to the sports. I'm Bernard Okumu, and let's begin in Kericho, where Kericho Green Stadium has been renamed after Kiprugut Chumo, who was the first Kenyan athlete to win Kenya medal at the Olympic Games. Now speaking during the 60th Mashujaa Day celebrations at the Kericho Green Stadium, President William Ruto said the stadium will be renamed Kiprugut Chumo in honor of the athlete who won silver medal in the 800 meters race at the 1968 Olympic Games in Mexico. Kiprugut, who also held East African records in 800 meters, retired from running in 1969 but worked with the Army as a fitness instructor until 1974. He died last year, aged 84.
Allow me to celebrate Kiprugut Chumo, the first Kenyan to win an Olympic medal, the first to win an Olympic medal by renaming this Kericho Green Stadium after him. I think he deserves it.
And multiple world and Olympic champion Faith Kipyegon, marathon world record holder Kelvin Kiptum, and world 800 meters silver medalist Emmanuel Wanyonyi are among Kenyan athletes who were featured at this year's Mashujaa Day celebrations held today at the Kericho Stadium.
She's run 3:55.
Kipyegon, who holds the 1500-meter and 1-mile record, leads the stellar list of Kenyan sporting heroes who were featured on a day the country celebrated its heroes from various sectors. Other notable figures honored today also include Stephen Owero, who is the founder, member, and leader of Planet Deaf Football in Kibera, which has empowered children who are hard of hearing. Kenyan sports legends who are also on the list include the 1999 All-Africa Games champion in 400 meters Kennedy Ochieng, 1997 Africa Taekwondo champion Ronald Lukalo, Professor Max Muniafu, who is the former Kenya 15s captain, who was part of the first Kenya 7s team to the Hong Kong 7s in 1986, and basketball legend Kennedy Ondieki. Boxing promoter Franklin Imbezi, wheelchair tennis star Jen Jenga, former Kenya Cricket International Joseph Odwal, 1997 Commonwealth Handball champion Nixon Oyaro, 1987 Africa Boxing champion Maurice Minor, the multiple Paralympics champion Henry Kirwa, and 1990 Commonwealth Games bronze medalist in netball Dorothy Omondi, and Kenya tennis legend Paul Wekesa. Amputee football, wheelchair basketball, and para-swimming champion Dalmas Otieno was also honored. Nora Mwangi for Easy Friday.
Thank you so much, Nora Mwangi, for that. A total of 24 sportsmen and women were recognized today. Moving on, just a day after sharing his commitment to working with county governments to upgrade the available sporting grounds in the country, Sports Cabinet Secretary Ababu Namwamba today toured the Moi Stadium in Kisumu as counties continue to yearn for an opportunity to host at least a game of the 2027 Africa Cup of Nations. Now, Kenya, with neighbors Uganda and Tanzania, will be co-hosting the continental event in 2027.
Right now we are at Moi Stadium, Kisumu. This is a very iconic, very old facility. And we have every intention to work together with the county government of Kisumu to put up a new stadium here. Besides, of course, generally improving sporting facilities in Kisumu County, Kisumu City. This is a big city. It is an entertainment capital of the Republic. And it is good that we invest in the right level of facilities.
The games that are coming here are important. We are glad they are coming here. And after those games, or as those games come, we shall continue with improving the stadium. And I do hope that when you come here next year in July, you'll see a completely different stadium.
Elsewhere, Sonia Nyaboke and Stephen Wasika among the winners of the Inter-Schools Taekwondo Championship held today at the Solidarity Primary and Junior High School in Ruai.
Sonia Nyaboke emerged victorious in the 10 to 12 years category after defeating Praise Alma 10-6 in the Inter-Schools Taekwondo Championship. Held today at the Solidarity Primary and Junior High School in Ruai, Nairobi.
Today we had about 80 players, with 75 of them grading to the color belts. The winners have been awarded with the medals, that is the 3 gold medal, bronze and silvers. And then we had 3 categories, the best school, the second best and the third best school. And overall, they also had certified, all those who participated have participation certificates. As we are rolling out 2024, we have best students, best talents within this region. And next year, when you think of Children's Olympics to being sponsored by the government, I look forward to raise a team that will be sponsored to go and represent Kenya as the Junior Olympics.
In the girls 10 to 11 years, Faith Wanjera topped the category after providing 2 good for Neema Kerubo and Faith Kasema, who were the other podium finishers. Joy Nabwile for Easy Friday.
And Green Park FC were held to a 2-all draw by Sheila FC in round 2 of the Sakaja Super Cup football tournament in Mathare. Simon Mwangi put Green Park ahead in the 7th minute before Jibril Watson leveled the score for the visitors in the 14th minute. Wellington Awinja restored the host lead 7 minutes into the second half, but Watson struck again in the 57th minute to snatch a draw for his side. In Dagoretti, Riruta 105 FC thrashed Makombora Bulls 4-1, while in Embakasi, West Ham beat Raila Village 3-0 as Shofko Mukuru and Bas FC played out to a 1-all draw. 340 teams from Nairobi County are competing in this year's edition, which will see the champions pocket 3 million shillings on the 16th of December. And to EPL now, where Manchester United will miss the services of Casemiro in the English Premier League game against Sheffield United tomorrow after he picked up an ankle injury while playing for Brazil in the Copa America on the 13th of this month.
Casemiro was substituted 11 minutes from the end of the 1-1 draw with Venezuela last week and has remained in Brazil to aid his recovery. While he misses the visit to Bramall Lane, the midfielder is expected back at Carrington early next week to resume training. However, he will not be able to feature in the midweek Champions League encounter with FC Copenhagen at Old Trafford through suspension, having been sent off against Galatasaray. Casemiro adds his name to a lengthy injury list at Manchester United, although they were given a boost on Thursday as Sergio Reguilon and Sofian Amrabat trained with the squad. Reguilon has missed the last 4 matches with a minor injury, while Amrabat was absent from Morocco's games against Liberia and Ivory Coast. However, Luke Shaw, Lisandro Martinez and Aaron Wan-Bissaka are all expected to be long-term absentees. Rafael Varane, Terrell Malacia, Kobe Maino and Ahmad Diallo are also currently out of action.
Well, and on that international notice, how we end today's edition of Sports on Channel 1, this lovely Easy Friday, which is also Mashujaa Day. I'm Bernardo Kumbat. Hand you over to Shiksha Arora to finish up with what's remaining on today's menu.
Thank you very much, Bernard. Of course, we're glad that sport seems to be very exciting. There's a lot happening. And speaking of a lot happening, right after this, we'll be speaking to Brian Kabugi. Remember, he got fame after Machachari and then moved on to shows like Kina and now Salem. That's where he plays a lead role. He's also got a very exciting project that he's been working on. He's going to be telling us more about that. And we'll be celebrating him this Mashujaa Day as he really just inspires the youth of today. That's it from this side of the studio. We'll be catching up on the other side. And of course, make sure you stick with us. Don't go too far. Once again, happy Mashujaa Day to you. Our sign language interpreter who's also one of our heroes. His name is Baron Abuli. I'll see you on the other side. Don't here. There's a lot happening after this.
Mchezaji wa Loto Moto.
Mungu awabariki sana.
Ni wengi wanakushukuru bila hata wewe kufahamu.
Niliona Mungu wa ajabu ameshuka.
Ni wengi wanaokuaminia.
Imejaa, imebaki, yani I'm just happy.
Ni wengi wanaokuombea ushindi.
Hawa ndio niachiwe na mama yao wakati aligojeka kwa muda.
Ni wengi unaowagusa kwa kuwapa afueni na imani ya maisha.
Asante na Mungu akubariki pia.
Ni wengi unawatembelea.
Through hii program ndo tunajua vitu zingine.
Na imani yako inawapa amani.
Akaaga juu ya kansa.
Ushindi wako ni wa wengi.
Roma niendanga, Roma.
Asante mchezaji wa Loto Moto.
Mushindana na watu wa ndevu na matoja. Solodolo nyinyi ni masteams na wachocha. Tukifika bank mina ball na kafunga kama JJ Yokocha. Adota tojo wa mastar. Papa hawezi zinguliwa na madaga. Melanin popping Cadbury with the bars. Mapepo zinanicheki zina shout hallelujah. Oh my god. Mikiki mikiki. Mikiki mikiki. Mikiki mikiki mina fanya vitu bigi. Mikiki mikiki. Mikiki mikiki. Mikiki mikiki mina fanya vitu fiti. Mikiki mikiki. Mikiki mikiki. Mikiki mikiki mina fanya vitu bigi. Mikiki mikiki. Mikiki mikiki. Mikiki mikiki mina fanya vitu fiti. Boss lady mi ndio wakata mshahara. Same level na madon dada kakamala. Bring beef I take a big bite no wahala. Cause ain't nobody badder in the whole sub-Sahara. Hell yeah, mi naonyesha kivumbi. Hii skill dai experience haifunzwi. Nimetoka ghetto mali youth akitokwa akichochwa akizoza na badilisho kichungi. Na makarao wanapenda chai. Boy yako na currency ndo mi naweza vibe. Fuko deep na mali pekee mi naweza die. Bila wave ya kurai sidhani wata survive. Wengi wata drown, wengi wata clown. Wengi wata frown wakisema na wadharau. Wengi watarudi mashinani out of town. Bado wengi watabam.
Welcome back, of course. Now it's time to get into this particular segment where we'll speak to Brian Kabugi, popularly known as the Real Boogie. Well, that's on Instagram. But yes, of course, we've seen him do a lot in terms of, you know, his entire career when it comes to acting, when it comes to content, when it comes to basically all things entertainment. He's been in the industry for almost, 11 years or so. He'll tell us more. Let's get right into this conversation. Hello and welcome to the studio. I'm glad you're here. Happy Mashujaa Day to you.
Mashujaa Day to you too. Thank you for having me today.
Brian, that voice. What? Say that again.
Happy Mashujaa Day to you too, Shiksha.
Have you heard? Happy Mashujaa Day to you, Shiksha. It's fine. I receive it. It is well taken. So, you know, Boogie, one thing that everybody admires about you is the fact that you are one of the most popular younger generation of actors. Of course, you know, we have the likes of Pascal Tokodi, the likes of Nick Mutuma, and then you've come in, and now everyone's talking about Boogie. Tell us, who is Brian Kabugi?
Brian Kabugi is a young actor.
Okay.
A young, very passionate actor. I've been doing this since I started acting as a child actor since I was 12 on Machujaa. Then I kickstarted my career then up to now I'm still doing it, so it's been almost like as you said, 11, 12 years.
Wow.
Doing the same.
That's a long time.
So I started Mashujaa, then did a feature film called Dream Child. Then after Dream Child, went to Kina. Then after Kina, did a couple of feature films here and there, Sleep. Then currently I'm doing Salem on Maisha Magic and Showmax, and also working on a very exciting project
that I know of.
Yeah, that you know of.
So he's been filming something so exciting, and every other day on his social media I've just been like keeping up with all his updates, because I'm like, this seems like I don't know why I feel like this is going to be big.
No, it's a dream.
It's a dream,
come true
right?
for me, because I manifested being on such a platform. I've always, one of my favorite films all time as a Kenyan, when I was young, when I started my acting journey, one of the films that really changed my perspective as a young actor was Nairobi Half-Life, which was directed by Tosh Gitonga.
Yes.
Then a couple of years later,
Here we are.
I'm starring in one of his
latest productions. And as the lead?
As the lead.
Ooh, high five, high five. That's it. That's what we want to hear. Boogie, you know, you said you started acting at the age of 12.
Yeah.
So as a young actor, when you were just getting in, like, did you even know that you wanted to be an actor? Because at 12, if you ask a 12-year-old right now, they'll be like, yeah, I want to be, you know, a pilot. I want to be a doctor. And then a year later, they'll change. They'll be like, okay, no, now I want to be a policeman. And then a year later, they're like, no, now I want to be an accountant. I want to be an engineer. So did you know from a very young age, because I mean, 12 is pretty young on its own. So how young were you when you discovered this art and the scene that you wanted to really explore more?
Yeah, I think as every other kid, when I was a kid, I wanted to be
everything.
I wanted to be a pilot, a nurse, everything. But eventually, I think when I was around 9, 10, I did my first play in church, and I loved it. And yeah, I made people laugh. Then I realized, oh, this can be my thing. So even in class, I used to be very funny, goofy, imitating teachers and stuff, and guys used to love it. Then when I got the opportunity for Machachari as an extra and realized, and I got to interact with, at that time, guys who I was looking up to, Akina Malik, Akina Tailambaya, Akina Ianene, Almasi, Baha, and Govi. I realized that this is something that I can actually focus on as a career. So for me, it was when I realized that acting is what I want to do. Is I loved it. I loved acting. I loved making people laugh. I loved being in that zone and just being in a world that, you know, I'm in control of. It's like a delusion. It's like a play as a kid. But I loved it, and it was my safe space. And my mom noticed that, and she supported me in that.
That's amazing.
Yeah, for any kid, like kids, when you're a child, you're trying different things out. But when you notice that there's this one constant thing that your child is loving and is always trying, and nobody told me you can become an actor.
Yeah, of course.
So for any parent, when you have this one thing that this child is really, 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 they're always doing it. They're always talking about it. They're always just push.
Just the excitement,
just
you know, that comes with it.
Just push it, because you don't know what it can build to. Maybe it's not what they want to do, but it can open the door for them to discover what they want. So for me, that was acting. I was excited about it. My mom realized how excited I was about it. I pushed myself to get the auditions. I pushed myself to start from an extra as a kid to being given a supporting role to a main role. Eventually, when I was leaving Machachari, I was already a main role. So that excitement, I loved it. And I always wanted to be on set. I always wanted to go through my scripts. I always wanted to cram my lines, to understand my lines. I always wanted to perform. So my mom knew that, and she supported me all through.
That's amazing. Yeah. That's beautiful. Very well said. That, you know, as a parent, you need to encourage your child. If you see that there's something that they're really interested in and something that excites them, you know, push them so that they can better that craft and, of course, pursue that skill in future. So that's amazing. Kudos to your mom. Give her a shout out.
Mom is my everything. She knows. She knows everything. My everything.
How
I dedicate
sweet.
everything that I do to her. Because I'm like, I have to. Like, she risked a lot to support me, especially at that time. My mom is a teacher, so you can imagine other teachers are like, your kid wants to be an actor. Like,
are you sure this is the right thing?
This is the right path? So I have to the risk she took with me, I have to like make it what.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Very, very, very nice to hear.
Yeah.
You know, the things that you've said about your mom. It's just so nice to see when parents actually encourage their children and push them to make their dreams come true. Brian, tell me more about the fact that, you know, you started off as an actor at 12 years old. You've been doing it until now. Did you at one point decide that, okay, I want to go and like learn it officially? Did you go and get trained? Did you go and actually go for like some, you know, courses, acting classes?
That's a very interesting question, because even sometimes nowadays when I'm on set and I'm having conversation with cousins, they're like, hey, Boogie, have you done master classes? Have you done?
Yeah.
None. Like
Nothing
at all. I remember Malik, one of my very close colleagues, friends, and he's like a brother to me. He was Govi in Machachari.
Yeah.
And Malik is still doing a lot of great things. And one thing Malik used to tell me was like, when we used to have conversations with actors and guys are like naming the best actors, their best movies, I had no clue, no idea. Me, I was just like, yeah, I'm just here to act and have fun. So I usually got this question of who's your inspiration, who do you look up to? But I was like, no one. It's like I had no idea of Denzel that time. I had no idea of, Brad Pitt. I had no idea of all these actors, but I just somehow, somewhere, I used to really perform nicely. So that's when I realized it's in me. So even up to date, it's more of I've never done any classes.
That's a gift then, because you've never done
any classes.
Any formal sort of training.
Yeah, a couple of years back is when I started being serious about master classes.
Okay.
I can count the number of master classes I've done.
Wow.
And it's important, but at the same time, it's for me to acknowledge that, okay, yeah, this is a gift. But also, with that, I always say the reason why I've been able to maintain my consistency and my discipline all through is because after realizing that, after a few years, I came to realize that you can have the gift, but there's
what do you
so
do with
much.
it?
Yeah, what do you do with it? So right now, if I have a master class and Charles Oda has a master class, I'm going for that master class.
Yeah.
Before we do any projects, when we have cast, we're coming together and we're doing the read-throughs and we're having the master classes with directors, I take such sessions very seriously, because now I'm aware that, I can actually add on to the knowledge that I have and the gift that I have.
Right.
So I'm not very ignorant of, I'm talented or I'm gifted in this, and there's so much more for me to be able to compete with the likes of Michael Ward, the likes of Damson Idris, the likes of Michael Rainey, all those young actors in Hollywood who are making it big. I have to think in that level. So as much as it's a gift, right now I'm taking it very seriously, doing master classes, learning me as an actor, what more can I do apart from the talent that I have to make me more valuable as an actor? Do I need to learn multiple languages? Do I need to, do I need to understand how to break down a script, how the script is written, how all these aspects? So
amazing. I'm glad that you mentioned that, because life on its own is always just a learning experience, right? No matter how good you are, no matter where you've reached in your life, there's always something that somebody will do or you watch that you learn something from. So I'm glad that you've never forgotten that, and of course you're sticking to the fact that regardless of this gift that you have and the talent that you have, you always want to better yourself.
So much more to learn,
and people say that if you have that quality within you to stay, it makes you remain grounded, and you never forget where you've come from. So well done. I feel like you're so mature. How old are you again?
23.
Wow. 23 years old, and here he is talking like I would say 30 plus. So it's amazing. I feel like when you start working at a very young age, it kind of makes you grow up so quick, because at 12 years old, I was eating dust somewhere in the corner. Do you know what I mean? And then here you are working hours on end on set. So I feel like you've grown up so quickly. You've matured so much faster than your colleagues and your peers. So when you hang out with people of your age, how do you feel?
Sometimes it's crazy weird, and I came to understand that after taking some time off and just looking at my journey and everything, because when we were kids, we were exposed to a lot.
Yes.
Also, we were working. When you're not on set, you're on set. When you're not in school, you're on set. And you're getting paid, and Yeah, and you're always, and set it's like work. Like you're there from morning
Of course.
So,
long hours.
Yeah,
like,
long hours.
It's
There's
insane.
so much. Yeah, we were exposed to so much when we were kids already, to life and about. So that's why even me, after high school, I knew for sure I had to do so much. I had to go back. Even after my teacher, I knew I had to go back and go for auditions, hustle, try and get these gigs and everything. So when I'm with my peers, most of the times, there's always that vibe of Bugia Bezeka, you know, like maybe some of the things that
the discipline.
Yeah,
you
the
know,
discipline.
when it comes
Because for me, of course, for me,
partying,
maybe we were partying.
Yeah.
And I really want to stay here.
But
for
you have
sure,
to go
I really want to
home.
be here. I really want to party with you guys, but
you have a shoot at 6 a.m.
I have a shoot at 6 a.m. Hey, okay, today's a public holiday. We were chilling with the guys during the day, afternoon, but guys, I have to leave you guys at 7. Why? I have to go home, change prep.
Yeah.
I have an interview at 6 at 10 p.m.
Yeah.
You know, my working days, the moment I'm partying the entire weekend, my Monday is messed up. Because I'm shooting Monday too, so I need my Sundays to plan for my week, to recover and just prep for my week. So on a Saturday, if you see me outside at 2 a.m., it's like, it's very rare. Very extremely rare. And for my age, that's normal because we're having fun. And trust me, I want to do that. And that comes to one of my pointers. And even right now when I'm doing this high school tour, and even right now when I get to talk to my colleagues, my peers, and even guys who are looking up to me, and I'm sourcing inspiration from guys my age too, it's the sacrifice where I know something has to give. You know, I have to sacrifice this partying, I have to sacrifice this lifestyle, because if I go and have fun and party, I have all the reason. I'm young. I can live once, YOLO.
You can.
But on Monday, it's me and my career and my producer and my reputation in the industry. It's not about the YOLO of Saturday. So that discipline kind of, to my friends sometimes, it
doesn't make
rubs off
sense.
like,
They're just like,
but also it's
guys,
having the proper circle, because most of the people I have
people
around me,
understand you.
they totally understand that.
Yes.
You know, even some of them will be like, yo, bro, you're outside.
Yeah.
Are you shooting? You're shooting?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. Let's enjoy this, because it's also good for me, because when I was a kid, when I started this when I was a kid, it also helped me mature real quick. I also was in some sort of routine since I was a kid, because when I'm not in school, following a timetable, I'm on set following a call sheet and a schedule always. So even after high school, waking up at 4 a.m., 5 a.m. to me, it's automatic.
Wow. What time do you usually wake up? What's your daily routine like? Take us through your daily
when I'm on set, I wake up at like 4:30.
Okay.
Start prepping up. Brief when I'm not working.
Wait. Are you hearing this? 4:30 a.m. You see, when they say Bill Gates, you know, Steve Jobs, all these billionaires, they wake up at 4:30. If you want to be a billionaire, you have to wake up at 4:30. Boogie's on his way. Just remember that.
True. So I wake up at like 4:30, prep up, start prepping up for my day.
Yeah.
Do a little stretch, get my lines on. By 5:30, I'm dressed, I'm ready. I have my scenes for the day, everything is set. 5:45, the van is outside my door.
Wow. 5:45.
The driver is there. 5:45 a.m. is there. Get to set latest at 6:30. Start my day. When I get to set, off the van to the wardrobe, change for the first scene, makeup, hair, go to the kitchen, get my breakfast, go to the director and the continuity, prep for the first scene, start shooting. All through, maybe I can get a break of like half an hour, like at 2 p.m. To have my lunch, then go back. Then we wrap at like 6 p.m. 6 p.m. wrap up, get to the van, get home at like 8 p.m. Shower, freshen up, eat something, look at my day, look at my social media, have a call with Anchi. She doesn't care whether I'm on set, whether I'm like, we need to.
That's your manager.
Yeah, that's my manager, Anchi. So have a call with that, look at my social media, now start work, like 1 hour to work on the Boogie brand, then now sleep, then repeat.
Wow.
So when I'm not on set, sometimes I'm like lenient, like I want to sleep kidogo, so I can wake up at like 6, 7. But on a once day,
4:30.
So when I'm over the weekend, Saturday and Sundays, I can like lala
Chill a
kidogo,
little bit.
7 a.m.,
Yeah.
8, wake up, and it's chilled.
Yeah.
Make like a breakfast, chill,
Nice.
look at your IG.
I'm glad that
shoot
you
some
actually get to do
content.
that.
Yeah.
At least, you know, Monday to Friday you're working, but Saturday, Sunday at least.
Yeah, you have
it's
to find
so
that balance.
important
Yeah, as
to
an
get
actor, you have
rest.
to do that.
Because burnout is something that we're all struggling with as creators, as actors, people who are in this entertainment space. I personally struggle with it. After every
Burnout
3
is
weeks,
yeah.
I feel like I'm so overwhelmed. I just don't want to do anything. For 2 days, I need time off. And it's like, even if I don't want to take time off, but my body will force me. Because I'll just shut down, right?
Yeah, if you don't take
You'll
time
fall
off,
sick or something will happen. Your mental health will not be the same. So I'm so glad that you at least get to do that twice a week. And I feel like these days we just glorify overworking. Do you know, when someone works Monday to Sunday, it becomes like, oh wow, you're working so hard, that's amazing. And for somebody who actually takes 2 or 3 days off, you're just like, oh, you don't have anything today, really? So we've normalized overworking, and we've not normalized rest.
Rest, especially in the creative space, mental health, burnout,
and Gen
guys
Zs, you
sleeping.
people, you work hard.
You work so hard, and you know, one thing about Gen Zs is already there's a pre-perception that we are lazy, entitled, and everything,
that's not true.
Ignorant. So there's always, apart from working hard, you always feel like you have to prove that. You know, even me when I'm on set, I always feel like I have to do twice as much.
There's a lot at stake because you want to prove a point.
To prove a point, because maybe I'm on set, I'm young, and I'm a Gen Z.
Yeah.
You get, and I'm a lead actor, and we have other mature lead actors. So I usually feel like the eyes are on me, and you know, I'm representing an entire, set of kind of generation. Everybody's like, yo, let's see how this.
And they look up to you.
How this Gen Z is moving.
Yeah.
Let's see. So there's all that scrutiny. So we are always working, and we're in a space where we need to look at our mental health in a very, very, very critical way.
Especially being a male, being a man.
Being a young man in this society.
In Nairobi, in Kenya, it's difficult.
Yeah, it's crazy.
A young man in this society, in the entertainment scene.
In the entertainment scene, it's crazy.
It's difficult.
Yeah, it's very, very, especially just being a young man right now, it's crazy. Like
boy child is suffering.
Yeah, boy child wanapitia, because as a young man, first of all, you have to come to, at a point in your early young adult life, there's a situation that will put you in the and for you to accept that as a young man you're only valuable by what you give and what you offer. Yeah, either by your friendships, either by your relationships, either by your family. Sometimes, you know, like as a young man you're only valuable by what you offer, and already it's very hard out here for these young guys. Of course. Unemployment issues, you know, proper guidance, you know, proper mentors, you know, mental health for young guys, you know, crazy expectations. You know, right now by 25, the expectations are crazy. When I go to my gram, even guys my age, and the expectations that are there, but you're boogie. You're by 25, you know, by 25 you need to have this. You need to be driving. You need to be living in.
Do
this
you
country,
know?
You know? And I'm like,
it's a rat race these days, because even my social media. Now imagine someone like me who's in my 30s, and I see this and I'm just like, okay, this is a lot. I can imagine you, because I feel like nowadays the Gen Zs are even more successful at their age than a lot of 30 plus people, because they're overworking. They're working extremely hard.
But also one thing we have to acknowledge is, we were blessed to have the blueprint.
Yes.
You see, so we cut down on the mistakes you guys made in your 30s. So we have, you guys figured out the way. So we're just following the right path.
Right.
That you guys had to cut out. Right. You guys had to fix it up. So we can give it that grace of us Gen Zs, we have that. So
thank you so much.
Yeah,
I appreciate.
So you guys, even now the generation after us will have it easy, and us will be like, how come? But it's because you guys maybe didn't have as much information, as much freedom, as now we're in an open world. So you really didn't have as much tools to be like us. So the reason why we are like this is because even the way the world is set up right now, we're given so much tools to be, to work hard. We're given so much. We know the blueprint. I know the mistakes that other actors my age made, and I don't want to follow in that footsteps. I want to take, you know, we basically cut down the time took you guys to figure out some of these things.
I get it.
Yeah,
I get what you're trying to say because, you know, even me, like looking at the generation that's ahead of me, right? I feel like they paved way for us to be able to reach and get to where we are today. And they were in a generation where they were not in the digital age. There was no phones at that time, and they still managed to do what they did. They still managed to accomplish all these things that they've gained and they've managed, you know, within these years. So I feel like for you were brought up in a world where everyone had a phone, you know, everything was so fast-paced. And for us, it wasn't the same. It was like a bit medium pace, and then above us, it was slower. So I get what you're trying to say. Boogie, you know, as we have this conversation, what would you like to tell the youth of today who are kind of feeling that desperation of, as you said, unemployment? They don't really have a job, they don't know what to do, and there's so many budding actors out here who haven't got the right opportunities. What would you say to somebody who's watching you right now and just, you know, is looking for some hope?
Yeah, I think for me, what I can tell you is there's only so much you can do. As long as you're working on yourself, working on your goal every day, as long as you're waking up and you're working on you becoming a better actor, just leave the rest to God or whatever energy, whatever deity you believe in.
Right.
Like, just leave the rest to just do your part and don't feel the pressure. Like, there's only so much you can do. As long as you're waking up every day, and you as a young actor, what are you doing? Do you have your show reel? Are you doing monologues? Are you polishing your skills? Are you going for auditions? Even if it takes 50 auditions, my guy, maybe the 51st can be your breakthrough. So as long as you're doing what you can do to service what you love and what you believe in, just leave the rest to the universe. Just maybe things won't work to your favor, but you should take pride in the fact that every day you're waking up to do what you love. Maybe the system is not working to your advantage. Maybe you're in the wrong industry, or, you know, our industry hasn't developed to such a level, but maybe you don't have the resources.
Right.
But with the little you have, and you're trying
make the most of what you have.
Trying to make the most of what you have and trying to make the step and trying to take that effort. Like, don't feel pressure. Don't feel pressure. One day, trust me, itajipa too. It took me 12 years, guys. 12 years.
To get to where you are today.
Like, a few weeks ago is when I got my first award as an actor. I've been doing this thing on screen for almost forever.
Congratulations.
Yeah. So for me, that's one thing. Like, keep going. Maybe the 9th time, maybe the first time. Maybe for other people, it's the first time when they try it and it works out for them.
Right.
Maybe yours, it's the 9th time or the 99th.
Yeah.
Don't stop.
But it will.
Yeah, as long as you're doing it, as long as every day, Shiksha, you're waking up and you're doing your best to get yourself in the right state, mentally, your health, physically, to come here and do this show every day. No matter how many people watch this, as long as you're doing it and you're doing your part, you should be proud of that. So that's one thing I want to tell everybody. Like, there's so much pressure going on, especially around young people.
Agreed.
My age, like, just do your part and leave the rest
to God.
To God, yeah.
Thank you so much, Boogie. I honestly had such a in-depth conversation with you. We got deep and we talked about a lot of things that have been quite an eye-opener for me. And of course, I commend you for your skill. I commend you for your maturity. I commend you for your discipline. So keep it up. Congratulations once again on your award for Best Actor. And we look forward to seeing you win many, many more. And looking forward to your next project, which I know is going to be a game changer. So make sure that you'll come back here. We'll talk about it when it's out. You'll be here on my hot seat again. So once again, thank you so much for coming here. And we really, really, really want to congratulate you on how far you've come all these years. It's been worth it, I must say. All the hard work you've put in, it shows. And yeah, keep doing you. Keep shining.
Thank you so much.
And that's it for us right here on Easy Friday. We'll do this again next week, same time, same place. Don't go too far, because coming up next, Cole Jax is going to be on the decks. He's going to be bringing that Friday fever on. We've got some fantastic music lined up for you. I'll see you next week, same time, same place. Shiksha, Arora signing out. Good night.
Shagala bagala, niko tayari kulipa gharama. sitasimama maovu yakitawala, sitasimama maovu yakitawala. Ufisadi, ubinafsi, ukabila, kuuza sura